This is a quick performance installation video for K10167, which is a wide mount alt power steering bracket for an LS motor with a Camaro crank pulley. We're going to start off by doing a little bit of pre-assembly here on the instructions. Step one is to actually install this idler, and so we have an oversized hole here for a 12 millimeter. Just slide that in from the back, idler mount, and then the idler, and then we're going to put on the flange nut. Now we do want you to install it this way with the bolt coming from the back so that this flange nut can have a nice seat here on the bearing. This is a 12 millimeter bolt, so we're going to torque that down to 50 foot-pounds. The next step is we're going to install the bolts that are going to go into the block and the cylinder head. One will go right here into the spot face, and then right here. We can then flip that over. These two here will take the long 1-inch outside diameter spacers, and then the one down here, 3/4 inch outside diameter spacer. We're now ready to install this plate onto the engine. We're going to install the bracket on the cylinder's head here and here, the lower bolts, and then also down here on the block. So what I like to do is take this and actually screw it into the lower one here. So it's going to kind of hold the weight, and I can rotate this over, manipulate that into spot, tighten that up there. And there, we're going to leave these loose for now, just kind of get them threaded in there so it can hold the weight, but we're going to leave it loose so that the next steps are much easier. We're now going to install the back plate into the upper cylinder head bolts, so these will be going into here like so. What we're going to do is go ahead and load those up. We have a couple of basically 2-inch tubes here. Get those set in there. That's where the alternator is going to sit. Get your upper and lower lined up. Go ahead and load the back plate onto there. And then we got the short spacers to go in the rear so that the spacing is correct off of the cylinder head. All right, now we're going to still leave these loose, and you can tell that there's a little bit of weight on this as well. We're going to add some more weight by going ahead and putting the alternator in here, and then we'll cinch everything down. We're going to install the alternator. I like to use the top hole first. Just go ahead and get your bolt in there. That way it just holds its weight, pivots down nicely, so you can get this bottom in here. You'll notice that our bracket is a dual bolt pattern. This one here can take the Camaro and the truck. This one here is for Corvette spacing. Now in an application like this, the only real reason why you'd want a Corvette alternator is for the overrunning clutch if you're doing high revs and shifting, like if you're doing autocross or something of that nature. Otherwise, this is our Power Master in-house 165 amp small case. And it works just fine. We're ready to torque this down to the engine. All right, we're ready for the torque sequence. I just start from the bottom and go up towards the top. These are 10 millimeter bolts, so 37 foot-pounds. I like to take some of the weight off of the bracket while I start here. I've already pre-tightened these just a little bit, just to hold them in place here for the video, because typically I wouldn't be trying to do both. But just work your way up, and now it's probably held on by these three well enough that we can just switch to these 37 foot-pounds, and it's just nice and easy. Now here on the alternator, you will need a 15 millimeter box end wrench on the back end side here. Hold it in place. Perfect. And we already have this one torqued down to 50 foot-pounds. If you haven't done that yet, go ahead and knock that out. You don't want that wobbling at speed. We're now ready to install the power steering pump. We're going to install our power steering pump now. Now this one has a 5.5-inch pulley, and you can see that you actually have windows to access the threaded bosses here so that we can do that on the back side. There are some power steering pumps that have through holes, and for those we do include 75 millimeter, 8 millimeter bolts and nuts to do that. But for this, we're going to use the 8 millimeter by 25s. I have a little trick I'll show you guys to get it mounted up here. Just get it into place, and then take this, and you can just go ahead and hand thread in the middle one, like so. And I'm going to take that all the way down to where it tightens it up just a little bit. Now that holds it in place for us while we do the others. And it's just an easy way to get it lined up, hold it in place for you so you can get these started here. Now, we will go ahead and torque these. These are 8 millimeters, so we recommend 15 foot-pounds of torque, not very much. Don't overdo it. And yeah. This bracket here is a great option for you F-body guys, because originally the alternator was mounted down here, and that's, you know, in the way. We've put it in this Corvette configuration, and it can use your Camaro power steering pump here, or we have a 5.5-inch pulley tucked in nice and tight, clocks correctly, so it's easy to get the pressure and feed port. Oop, can't see it. Not much at all. 15 foot-pounds. Might be worth getting the torque wrench out and following the instructions, but that's just me. All right, let's put a belt on this bad boy. We're ready to install the belt now. This one here is with our Sandin HD wide mount compressor, and that belt is called out in the instructions. It does work with our wide mount mini as well. It also works if you're not running AC and you just have the stock tensioner right here. So one of the tips and tricks I always like to say to guys are, we got a little twist right here for some reason. There we go. We'll take that out and edit. Probably not. We can't afford to reshoot this. We're going for it. All right. Leave the big bell on the water pump for last. That way it's nice and easy to put on there. We take a 1/2 inch here, drop her on down, and then just slide the belt on. Now, we do want a little bit of a tight fit. As a belt wears, it'll stretch out just a little bit. It'll also take a set as well and drop down into the grooves themselves. And so, you know, we have tensioner marks that we want to be aware of. And anyway, you don't want it so tight that you can't get it on and your tensioner's maxed out, but you do want it to where your tensioner is not in the relaxed position, because a loose belt is basically as good as no belt at all. It's going to cause squeaks and also performance issues. Let's take a look at how we're going to hook up this remote reservoir power steering pump. Now this is a remote reservoir off a 97 to 2013 Corvette, and it's just a simple one that we sell, and it bolts right up here to the bracket. So in an earlier step, before we torqued all this down, you would have put this behind these bolts right here. It would have put the remote power steering pump just here, very conveniently in the front of the engine, just like the stock Corvette did. But it also, this can be turned around. So if you didn't want it, you didn't have space or something like that, you can mount this to a firewall or something like that. The reservoir just needs to be physically above the feed port here. We also have developed just a quick little hose that, you know, comes in from back here, drops down, and it's actually backwards. Drops down to go to your hose barb here. So that's an option for you. We sell this separate or in our power steering hose kit, which allows you to go from a metric power steering here down to your box, which may be SAE, it may be metric. The kit has all the adapters that you need inside of it. So this has other accessories that can go with it to make it an even more complete installation. Thank you for watching this quick performance installation video. If you have any issues or need help troubleshooting or belt length or something like that, we have lots of resources on the website, but please give us a call, drop us an email. We'd love to help. Thank you.